make sure that the audio is off and it remains off, and the camera. We're going to have a look at the with regards to introduce some of the staff. Then in with regard to the staff will be our new county coach developer. We'll then get into the coach development program, what that looks like. Then at the end, there'll be some questions relating to the coach education. Now, the program tonight is very much a webinar with regards to an overview with regard to the coach development program. So if we can, and there will be a chat function, if we can get to answer some of the questions, we will, but it will be very much with regards to a seminar where there's information given. Just a few introductions. My name is Dave Cleary. I'm the Senior Football Development Officer. I manage our development team. I also lead on the coach education and an FA tutor. With me, who's managing the chat, is Andy Brown. He's our clubs and leagues officer, as well as an FA tutor. We've also, and apologies to Helen, Helen Edwards. She's our women's and girls officer. So any questions relating to, which we'll get into, about the female CPD, Helen may be able to involve and get some of those answers. And also, I'd just like to welcome and thank Steve Dorey. Now, Steve's our county coach developer. We thought it'd be a great idea with it being the launch of our county coach development program that Steve can also introduce himself. Steve, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Dave. Just going to set my camera on.
Cheers, Steve.
Yep.
So, Steve, would you just like to introduce yourself, and then we'll go through some of the slides?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Dave. Well, hello, everybody. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. This, I feel like, very much the warm-up act here. It's like, here's a little something just to kind of get you started, and then we'll get into the real stuff. So what the guys have asked me to do is just explain a little bit about myself, so who I am and how I kind of arrived to this position, and what my role entails, and the kind of stuff that I'm lucky enough to be involved in. So if you can just move us on one, Dave. So this is me, and the story that I want to tell here is about the value of having really good people around you, people who are going to really support you, encourage you, as well as challenge you as well. So this is just a quick fire tour of kind of the people that I've been really lucky to work alongside and get to know, and the kind of experiences that I've had. So if you can just do us another one. So this is my lovely wife, Tracy. We've been together for 16 years and has just provided absolute unwavering support for whatever I've wanted to do in the football world. And as you guys will be more than aware, it can be a bit of a lonely business. You can be out at very unsociable hours, but she's always stood by me and just been absolutely amazing in terms of the support that she's given me. And the next one this is my mum and dad. So again, right from a young age, just so encouraging and supportive, you know, any kind of harebrained scheme. I mean, I remember when I signed up to my college course, and she said, well, you know, you probably won't get a job in football, so why don't you do something with computers? So there I was doing an IT qualification. But again, just all the football stuff I've been involved in, just so willing to support me. And football has really been a massive part of my life, and I owe a great deal to this man. So this is Nigel Carson, who some of you might know. I think you're probably more familiar with his brother Simon, who I think operates in this area. So Nigel's from Stockton originally, and I used to go to his soccer schools when I was a kid. And then when I got a bit too old for that, I started kind of hanging around and asking to volunteer, doing some coaching, which really was picking up cones, but kind of over time that got to be a bit more and a bit more. And Nigel just really instilled in me this absolute love for coaching and working with players, and his enthusiasm was just amazing every day. And the more I did, the more he encouraged me, the more he supported me. And the reason that, you know, I got into coaching in the first place is really down to this man, and I owe this man a lot of my career, really. So for the next couple are just different organisations that I've been involved in. So working in a grassroots setting for a number of years, again, Nigel got me into that and I loved it. Working with a team, working with players, games on a weekend, And then all the other stuff that comes with it, fundraising and admin and things like that. But it was a great learning opportunity. And then as the years progressed, we kind of got an appetite to move elsewhere. So I wanted to go and work with some older players. So I started getting involved with under-19 football, representative football, the county squad, and just did so much learning all along the way. And then I was really lucky in my next step was I got to join York City in their academy. So they were just promoted to the Football League when I started, and I got to spend 5 years working with some brilliant players, great parents, but the people that I've encountered along the way, and it's really highlighted in all of the clubs for different reasons, just great people that were willing to give up the time. They wanted to listen, they would always lend an ear, they would give an opinion, and they would also really challenge some of the things that you were saying, because they had really strong opinions on how the game should be played, what good coaching is like. And the person that's been incredibly influential to me is this man. And again, I'm sure a lot of people will know this person. This is Andy Foster. So Andy worked for, I think, a decade at the Football Association. And Andy and I first met on a level 2 course in 2006. And he has been a real source of inspiration and a role model for me ever since. And he's someone that I continue to call upon to this day. And he has been the person that has really challenged me the most, really stretched me, really made me think, but always in a very caring capacity. And in 2012, so alongside sort of coaching commitments, I was lucky enough to get involved in football development. So I started working at West Riding, and again, what a great team of people that were passionate, enthusiastic, they really cared about what they were doing. It was a real privilege to be part of that team, and just again, having good people around you made such a difference. Then sort of most recently, I suppose I've been lucky enough to be an FA affiliate tutor, so getting to deliver the courses, which has really been a bit of a lifelong ambition, and I've just loved every minute of it. Getting out and trying to work alongside coaches, I mean, what an absolute privilege to get to do that. And you meet fantastic people along the way. And again, another person who I'm sure is familiar to you, this is Julie Chipchase. So Julie is now my boss. But again, she was the county coach developer in West Riding. So we struck up a great relationship. Again, I've known Julie for years. She is really my mentor these days. And in the same way that the other people that I've mentioned, supportive, caring, encouraging, blooming, challenging, but another great person to have that has just been such a help in my life, really. And what I'm currently on with at the moment outside of work is I'm currently studying an MSc in sports coaching at Leeds Beckett, which has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. And I'm being stretched beyond belief. But again, a world-class set of staff, always there to listen, offer an opinion, to help, just to encourage and support. And that's just fundamentally changed my thinking and has been such a positive thing in my life. And all of those things have brought me to here. So in this great position where I've got to join a fantastic county FA, and unfortunately I've joined just before lockdown, so it's been, well, what you might call a bit of a false start. But the message that I really wanted to get across here was these are the people that have had an impact on my life and how influential that has been. And the people that I've met in Durham so far, and from what I've heard already, is I've met people via the phone, via things like this, via webinar and things like that. And the overriding impression is that this is a county full of highly skilled people who are incredibly passionate about what they do and who really care about helping coaches get better in this county. So I think we are surrounded by some incredible resources here, and I'm just really excited to play a small part in that. So in terms of what my role is then, it's really split up into two parts. I'm sure you'll have come across Andy Lowe in the past, and so you're probably familiar with what this role is, but I just want a quick explanation. So there's the formal delivery of courses at levels 1 to 3. So alongside the affiliate workforce, we'll be out delivering courses, trying to help tutors get better and try and achieve these qualifications. And then the other side of it is supporting people outside of courses. And that includes the coach development workforce that we've got in the county as well. So working alongside the tutors, the mentors, the other great people that we've got here, all trying to help each other get better And then as well for the coaches on the ground, whatever level you're working at, whatever it is that you want to get better, that's our job to try and provide that service for you. And really, this program that Rich and the guys have put together is a really, really great example of the kind of service that's going to be offered here. And just move on to the next one for us, Dave, please. Thank you. And what the guys have tried to do, and something that I believe very passionately in, is try to align our resources so that we've got all these great people. So the County FA staff, the tutors, the mentors, as well as speaking more broadly. So from the FA's PE team, we've got Ryan Davies, we've got a new regional coach mentor officer, Sarah Loudon, we've got Claire Robinson at the Women's High Performance Centre, all of the staff and coaches in the professional club, semi-pro, all of the other great people that we're going to have that are joining in this programme. It's all coming together for a really common purpose, and that is that we all really value the role that people are doing, the role that coaches play here in helping our young players and players of all ages get onto the pitch and play whenever we can get back to that. But aligning these resources so that we're all really connected and really supporting you in a very strategic manner. So this next one is just what I wanted to mention. Okay, so we're not really able to do a great deal at the moment. I mean, if you're back working with some players at the moment, then fair play to you, because there's a lot of organising that needs to go into that. I just wanted to touch on some of the stuff that you can access now from your own home, kind of in your own time. So recently the FA has launched its own YouTube channel. So there's a ton of resources on there. Things are getting uploaded on an almost daily basis. So if you've not looked on there, there are sessions that you can watch, there's interviews, and then if you've seen any of the webinars that are flying about at the moment, they get recorded. So if you can't join those live, they go on this YouTube channel. So like with anything on YouTube, it's free to access. You can have it as many times as you want. So it's a brilliant resource. The next one is recently launched, is the next step in the England DNA. So headed up by Durham's own Graham Carrick, this is the England DNA youth development phase. So I'm sure that you'll be familiar with Graham and you'll know what a fantastic coach developer he is. And this work is building on the brilliant work of Pete Sturgis and his colleagues with the foundation phase DNA. So it's an extension of that and just helping coaches continue to provide those brilliant experiences for players. So on the FA's website, there's a load of stuff that you can read and get your teeth into before hopefully we get to bring it to life sooner rather than later in person. There's the Hive groups that have been going on for a long time now. Again, what a ton of resources there are on there. So if you're not signed up to those yet, I really strongly urge you to do that. The Boot Room website is the home of FA Learning. So again, there are sessions, interviews, articles to read, all really nicely organised as well. So there's loads for you to get your teeth into, and it's all free. And then the last one that I just want to point your attention to, if you're on a level 2 course at the moment, so you've been on a course but you've not quite finished it yet, several colleagues of mine in the CCD team have put together what they call level 2 bite-sized workshops. So same again, these are going to go on YouTube, and as you can see from that image there, they're all about 20 minutes long, and it's just like a refresher for each of the workshops that we offer as part of that course. So if there's anything that you think, oh, I'd like to have a bit of a reminder of that, or I'd like to revisit some of that stuff, that's all available to you. Now, what you should have had in the last couple of weeks is a direct email to you personally. So that will have a link with a survey on it that is asking you what kind of support do you need to help get you over the line in terms of your qualification. And you should also have this link to this private YouTube channel. Now, I'm sorry to everybody else who can't access this at the moment. It is just private, just for the guys going through the level 2 course, and I'm hopeful that it'll open up in time. As and when that's available, I'll certainly let the guys know and we'll get the word out, but it looks like a really good resource. What I am pleased to say as well, I suppose pleased only if you're on a level 2 at the moment, but my colleagues in the CCD in the Northeast team, we're going to start doing a weekly webinar that's going to be on the topics that are most requested from you level 2 coaches. So starting next Friday, we're going to be putting on a workshop around developing your coaching philosophy. So again, that's going to come directly to you. You'll have a link just to join in, and our intention is hopefully to record that and then share that more broadly if you think that's going to be of help to you. So just to try and get you ticking along with your project, give you some ideas to think about so that when you do get back on the grass, you can kind of hit the ground running. And then all this other stuff is available at whatever level you're at. Just a quick word on the FA's webinars. They are aligned to level 1, 2, and 3 CPD. So if you're looking for some UEFA B CPD, that stuff is going to tick the box for you. Level 4 and 5 coaches, I do believe there is some level 3 and 4 CPD that you can access via webinar. So do just have a check on the website, because it'll say clearly what CPD it's accredited to, so you can get your hours done. So this is it's my penultimate slide, but my last one of real content. This is my ethos for coach development. This slide is a steal from somebody else, so I can't claim to have created it, but this is the way that I really think about coach development. And the message that I want to leave you with is just linking back to my opening slides around the positive people that have been involved in my life and have played such a part in that. Whoever you interact with as part of this coach development program, and speaking more broadly, whoever you interact with and their role is to try and help you get better at coaching, or is to try and help you in any way, this is what we're all about. There's no trying to catch you out. There's no trying to trick you or trip you up or anything like that. We're here to help you. Or whether that's a qualification or not part of a qualification, if you're interacting with somebody from Durham that's involved in coach development, this is the kind of service that you will get, and we're here to help you. And finally, these are my contact details. So if you have anything that you wanted to get in touch about, any specific coaching issues, problems, or just discussions, I've already had some really nice conversations with coaches on the ground already, and they've been really enjoyable to be part of. But this is a real open door here, guys. So if you want to get in touch, please email, text, ring, whatever you want. If you just want to natter about coaching, I'd love to have you. And I just want to leave with a huge thank you and a well done to the guys at Durham County FA, because this programme looks really, really exciting. And I know an awful lot of work has gone into that. And I think there's going to be some really, really good stuff that's going to be offered over the years. And the guys have worked ever so hard with it. And thank you for inviting me tonight to come and talk to you. And thank you for involving me in some way in this programme. I'm really looking forward to playing a part. Right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to me. Dave, I think it's back over to you.
Cheers. Thanks, Steve. Now, as Steve mentioned, the programme, I've got to give special thanks to Richard Shuffleton. Myself and Rich, just to give you a little bit about the programme, we've received some emails regarding our coach association. We used to have a coach association, and we used to have quite a few events, and they were well attended. Then after a few years, the FA said that was their part of their remit, so they took it over. Then came back to the county FA with input from the FA themselves. But to be honest, myself and Rich, we sat down. We said it's starting to get a little bit disjointed. The events were very much sporadic, and so Rich went away, and he's worked for the last 3 months on this program. So it's all thanks to Rich. What I intend to do, because there is quite a bit of detail, I'll just give you about 10-20 seconds on each slide just to read and digest, and then I'll just do a quick overview on each of the slides. Now, the main aim of the programme is to provide coaches with a CPD package to support their ongoing development. You can see on the left slide, it says with regards to level 1, level 2 and level 3 UEFA B. Throughout the year, we probably have approximately 500 coaches that come through on their level 1, 100, 120 for their level 2, and level 3, we have a 24. Now, there's a lot of courses that we deliver. So on the level 1, around about 30. On the level 2, there's around about 3 to 4. And there's only 1 for level 3. That's because of the length that the level 3 takes. But what we're looking to do with the program is that we're looking for a seamless transition. So anybody that does a course and they may not be ready yet to progress, but we're looking at the seamless transition from a course to a CPD. On the right, it mentions with regards to some tutors, and I won't go into all the specifics, but some of the presenters that Rich has been in touch with, we've got FA tutors, there's FA mentors, CCDs like Steve. We've got FA leads in foundation and development. We've also got people with regards to physical performance, performance analysis. Stephen mentioned with regards to the PE department. Rich has been in touch with academies, UK coaching, and we've also got lecturers and coaches from other sports. So a real variety of people that he's been in touch with, and over the coming months and longer, they'll be delivering for us. This slide here is about the aims of the programme. And basically, the aim, in short, is just for coaches to become the best possible coach that they can at whatever level. Now, I've mentioned before that we have around about 500 people that come through the level 1 and 120. For all sorts of reasons, they may not want to go on to level 2 again, and that is fine. But what we're looking to do with regards to the events, if for reasons with regards to work, the cost, or just trying to get the time off work, we will try to help them become the best level 1 coach that they can. The same with regards to the level 2. As a level 2 coach, it may not be the right time, or because the amount of work that's involved with regards to the level 3, you may not hit the prerequisites, but our aim is for you to become the best level 2 coach that you can, and also with regards to level 3. Now, Stephen alluded to with regards to A license. I'm pleased to say that on our programme, there's about 14 A license coaches enrolled. We'll still be looking to put on events, which I'm sure will capture their interest, and there'll be events that we'll just put on again throughout the year. The next slide, a framework for development. So basically, anyone who's attended an FA course over the past few years will recognise the 4 categories. The coach development programme will show close links between the England DNA and our coach education pathway. What we don't want is for our coach education and our coach development programme to be run in parallel. We don't want that. The basis should be all as one and entwined. Just to delve a bit deeper with regards to the framework for development, you can see some of the competencies that's involved in each of the 4 categories. Now, if you've attended a course over the past 4 or 5 years since the course has changed, people would think, and people have said in the past, that you don't get assessed. Well, you do get assessed. The big difference from when I did my courses, you'd have a tutor would be on the side of the field with a flip chart and assessment, and they would then just basically assess you there and then and be a pass or fail. The courses now, you're being assessed on a formative basis. This is looking at your own development over a period of time. In each of the courses, level 1, level 2, level 3, 4 and 5, there's 16 competencies that you've got to hit. And our programme will look to work and deliver some of those competencies, develop them, And that's why I was saying before with regards to, so you can become the best level coach that you are now, or look to try and progress you onto the next level. Just an example, if we look at how we coach, so with regards to the communication skills, as a level 1 coach, you'd be expected with regard to how you can communicate. So just different ways to get information across. We would then look to put on an event to try and get you ready to progress onto the level 2. So as a level 2, you'd be then looking at how you can display a range of communication skills and methods and how to apply them. If you're a level 2 coach, and again, if we look to put on an event relating to communication skills, we'll be looking at putting an event on with regards to the best method of communication when you're dealing with either an individual, a unit, or a team. So this is again just looking at the competencies involved in those categories. If you just look at the how we support, and with regard to creating the environment, as a level 1 coach, you'll be expected to, if you put on a session, is it safe, fun, and enjoyable? As a level 2, you should be looking at with regards to a variety of strategies to create the best environment for your players. And then if it's a level 3, you'd be looking to provide a learning environment that recognizes its values, encourages and challenges achievement, but also manages negative behavior. So whatever your level, we'll be looking to put on, again, just a different event that can challenge you, and so you can continue your coaching journey. So what you've been waiting for, this is now our offer to you as a coach. So you've got 7 strands of the CPD, culminating in our end of season coaching conference, which we'll be looking at possibly next season, May or June. Now, the minimum that you'll be able to attend will be 3 of these. If you just look at the FA education, so on the CPD, there'll be events with regards to bridging workshops and the England DNA workshops. So the bridging workshops just gives coaches a better understanding of what course entails. So you get level 1 going on the level 2, what the level 2 is all about, the amount of time. There's been challenges because some of the coaches that came on and they haven't got a team. You must have a team because the big part of the level 2 assessment criteria is with regard to their project. And that's the same with regard to when you move from level 2 onto a level 3. During the workshops, we'll show theory and practical content. So the England DNA workshops basically will host a number of foundation and youth development events. I have to say that there will be priority given to the coaches working in these phases, and that's why when Rich sent information out, so we've got that. But when I'm saying priority, you'll be looking at 48 hours. If it's not filled, then it will be opened up to everybody. The next slide, technical and tactical. This will be opened up to everybody. So the main thing with regards to this, we'll be looking at to explore the age-appropriate technical and tactical demands of your players. We'll be looking at individual roles and their responsibilities within a team or in positions. We'll look at the relationships of players within units and relationships between the units and how team functions collectively. So an example Richard's got on there with regards to beating opponents. If you look at out of possession, we may look at a 1v1. So what's the technical detail with regards to what the defender needs? So we'll be showing different practices. So if it's out of possession, it could be matched up, 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. Out of possession, 1v2, 2v3, 3v4. If it's for coaches, and if we're looking at, as an example, UEFA B, an example of which could be defending against a quick counter-attack. And I don't just mean just taking them out on the halfway line, but I'm sure there'll be discussions with regards to that as well. We'll also look at using small set games in roles of players of their development, and something which we've been asked quite a bit, which is on the slide, just to show and explore different finishing practices. Next slide with regards to the UEFA B, and I have to be honest, there's been when we've asked you for some of your questions, there's been a lot with regards to the UEFA B. So I'm pleased Richard's put a lot of time and effort in for this work. So the UEFA B, it's for our past coaches who have attended and those that have been successful, but again still want to develop their knowledge. Those that came on the course and aren't yet competent, so they'll be invited. Our present coaches, so those that's been enrolled onto the course for this year, and our future UEFA B coaches. I want to talk about the future. So the course that was due to start in June, our UEFA B, it's been put back to September, but they've all been told that all depends on the government guidelines and with regards to the FA. We had 24 have been successful and 50 enrolled. So the additional who weren't successful, they'll be invited to our CPD events, just so they've got a better understanding of what the UEFA B involves, but also what we're going to be doing with our tutors and with Steve. Those that have just passed their level 2, and if they've been identified to progress further, they'll be invited onto this program too. And the bottom bit just tells you with regards to the 3 that'll be taking the lead on this will be our tutors, Graham, Clark, Steve, Dory, and Rich Shuffleton. The next slide is with regards to specialist CPD. Now, there's been quite a few have asked with regards to what different courses do we offer. Throughout the year, we deliver 4 or approximately 4 futsal level 1 and a futsal level 2. The goalkeeping, we deliver 3 goalkeeping level 1s. There's been a major problem over the last 3 or 4 years to try to get a goalkeeping level 2. So when it's been organised, it's been promoted through our county and our neighbouring counties, but it has been a struggle. But we'll still be putting on events on just to continue your development in this field. The disability football, We're waiting for an update with regards to, because it's called the CDF, Coaching Disabled Footballers course. Just before we're in lockdown, Andrea File, who's our disability officer, she'd been looking to try and get a course arranged in March. But obviously that's been put on hold, and it is something that we are looking to do in the future. And the other course that we're looking to start again is with regards to the FA development, so the coaches, the mentoring course. We used to deliver quite a few of these, where they used to be based in the county. We will look to be putting the courses on around the county, but also what we're doing, and it worked quite well, any club who has a facility to host and they have the correct environment with regards to the TV, the chairs and the environment for a classroom, then we can put that on back at your club. But when I'm saying back at your club, it's got to be within our county. Female only CPD. Now, to give you a background, every year we have around about 60 females that come through and get qualified as a level 1, and approximately 12 females that progress onto the level 2. And this year, I think we've got 4 females that's attending our UFAB, which is fantastic. But in the past, when we've held events, we may have only had 1 or 2 females that's attended. Now, people may turn around and say, oh, well, that's up to them if they want to attend. But our insight, what we've looked at when we've spoken to coaches, if there was something specifically with regards to where it's all female only, that's something that they would come along to. And we need to continue our female, our coaches, improve them. There'll be links with regards to the RTCs, because part of their development is that they're looking for female only coaches as well. But I also, with the female only CPD, will work closely with Claire McDougall-Robinson. Now, some of you may know with regards to the Women's and High Performance Centre, Claire leads on this, and it is for coaches within the female game. Now, that will be female, but also male coaches. So we'll work with Claire throughout the programme, as we have last year, and we'll be looking at joint events. If we have coaches that work in the female game, if you were to send me an email, because if you haven't got Claire's email address, I can forward her details on to you. The next slide, the Young Coaches Academy. For this one, we do need your help. It's a we've done something in the past, many years ago, and so it's something that we want to bring back in. So if you're a coach at a club and you've got somebody, a young person that's interested in getting into coaching, if you can forward their details, and then we can look to make contact with them. But obviously we need the parent or guardian's consent. We will be going through contacting the colleges and sixth forms as well as universities. The aim is with regards to putting on CPD events throughout the year, and approximately 5 of those during the school half terms. Anybody that then comes on to the course, and if they then complete the level 1 or want to get support, we will then be looking to put them in with the Charter Standard Club so then they can obviously help the club, but then get that mentoring from the coach. We want to look to develop and involve our young generation of coaches. Teacher support. If there are any teachers out there, now this is something which we do, and it's very much part of Richard's work program. And it's just with regards to, he goes into schools, and the advantage that Rich does, not only does he puts sessions on for the children, he basically spends a lot of time, and it's the teacher support that he gives. So basically the teacher plans the session with Rich's support, they deliver, and then Rich and the teacher review. So if there's any teachers who would like more information, if you'd just like to drop me an email, and then we'll be in touch with that. The end of season conference. We know that the FA, they hold events down St George's Park, but want to start bringing events back to our county. And it'll be an opportunity to bring as many of the strands together, bringing as many different presenters together. So it's a real worthwhile learning experience on the day. And if it gets bigger, we could then be looking at the weekend. Rich does know this, but yeah, we will. Now, in order to attend the coaching conference, coaches must have attended a minimum of one CPD event. And as we've got on there, priority booking will be given to coaches who have attended 3 or more events. What we're trying to get away from, and we know it happens, is that coaches scramble to try and get their CPD hours. We want people to come along because they want to, because it interests them, and they'll feel engaged with regards to the events. There's been some questions with regards to the webinars and can they then get their CPD hours. What I've been told up to now will be the same process where I'll contact the FAM, go via Steve, and just with regards to what we are looking to put on, will this be 2 or 3 hours CPD? Just some additional information. Where will the coach development program take place? We've got some great venues and we will be moving around the county. And I know something's been with regards to where the majority have been based at the county FA. The reason for that is just because of the quality of the venue and we've got players available. However, we will still be using the county FA. We'll be going down to Stockton Town, Bishop Auckland College, Durham University, the hubs out Sunderland and Washington, and also the Beacon of Light. You can still let us know if there's additional venues that you know of and that we can use, and if there's more venues, then we'll look to put them around the county as well. As an example, we will be going down to the Hartlepool. So when will it take place? The vast majority will be during the week, and it will be between 2 or 3 hours. So if it's 2 hours, it may be a case of it's short, sharp and sweet, from maybe 6:15, 8:15, so you can get yourselves away. Depends on what's being presented that it may have to be extended up to the 3 hours. But the conference will be on a weekend. Now, when we can, the majority of the workshops will be delivered face-to-face. So it'll be a blend of theory and practical. But for the foreseeable future, this is with regards to technology now, we will be delivering our CPD events on webinars. The aim is to get an event every 2 to 3 weeks. Now, we've had a look at the calendar and we know the football in the Premier League starts tomorrow. So we're looking at around about the 7th of July for our next CPD event. But the information will be sent out to you. So the events will be advertised with regards to social media. We've got now over 500 people who have now put their name down on the list to be registered as tonight, and we weren't expecting all 500 to book on with regards to the launch. But we had 194 that said they were going to log on. We don't know what the numbers are, but we know the last time we looked it was well over 100. The program will be free unless when we look at something with regards to the end of season conference, that's when there will be a cost. There has been times those that attended the conference with Pete Sturgis last year, and because of the vast number, we then had to put a £5 charge on, and there may be something similar. But it goes back to we want people to come along because it interests them, not just with regards to the hours. All the presenters will be asked to send their presentation through to the County FA, in which those that have attended will then distribute. And we do have a cancellation policy. So any coach that can no longer attend, we're looking around about 24 hours cancellation. Obviously, if there's circumstances out of your control, you can just let me know when you can. However, if there seems to be a consistent with regard to if it's the same person, they're putting the name down and they're stopping other people attending, you will be just basically withdrawn from the program. Additional learning opportunities. Steve had already mentioned that there's some great work happening with regards to the FA and their webinars, as well as the videos and YouTube. So we'll be sending this out to all of you that's on the launch this evening. Now, that's the end with regard to the launch. However, when Rich sent out the booking details, there was an opportunity for people to ask questions relating to getting back to football or what the launch is going to look like, the CPD program, and with regard to coach education questions. Because I'll lead on them, I've just grouped some of the questions together, which I'll answer now. But if you've got any burning questions with regards to, again, coach education or about the coach development program, please send them through. The burning one and quite a few have asked this: when will the FA courses or the workshops resume? And unfortunately, the answer is we just don't know. We know that there's been, with regards to the FA guidelines, about getting back to coaching, and there's in small groups. But until we get the go-ahead from the government and then the FA, everything is still on hold. Will there be an extension to our first aid? Hopefully you've seen on social media, but those that got a first aid, you have an extension, and if it ran out, you have an extension up until the end of July. We're hoping there'll be additional information will come out if, again, we still can't put on workshops, but up to now, the extension is up until the end of July. Will Durham FA be organising futsal, goalkeeping, mentoring, coaching, disabled? I'd mentioned that before. With regards to the goalkeeping, it's been, we'll have 3 courses. 2 at the moment, it's been delivered at the County FA, and we've moved the other course at Stockton Town. It's been organised there, and Darlington. So we'll still be looking to move these courses around the county. The goalkeeping level 2, the problem with regards to the goalkeeping level 2, the criteria now, you must have attended the goalkeeping level 1 and have your outfield level 2 as well as your before you can attend the goalkeeping level 2 course. We'll still be looking to organise it. It'll be around about June, July time next year, because we need a facility where we can have the full pitch for over the three days. The mentoring, as I mentioned, it's something that we are looking to get to kick off again, either in central venues or back at the clubs. And I mentioned about the CDF courses just previously there. Questions relating to level 2. When will level 2 begin and what is the schedule? So if people were on the level 2 in April, which was then postponed, and the same with July, our next course is being planned for September. Anybody that's attending the course, they'll have priority before it then is open up to the public. But again, I've just got to emphasise it all depends on information from the government. If there's a demand because of what's happened with regards to lockdown, more people want to get on courses, then we'll be looking to put on additional level 1 and level 2 courses throughout the season. Questions relating to the UEFA-B. Is there any work we can be getting on with? Well, with regard to the CPD events, we will be putting some events on relating to UEFA-B. Once we get back to some sort of normality and we can start logging people onto the FA system, you will receive information, and this is for those that are currently on our UEFA-B course with regards to our module that you need to complete. And there has been a couple of questions with regards to the next application for the UEFA-B. It really all depends on when we can start this year's course. The first block is due to begin in September, but because there's 4 blocks, you're looking at around about a 9-month just to start and finish the course. Again, as I mentioned before, there's only 3 tutors that can deliver it, so there's a lot of time constraints that's put onto the tutors due to the length of the course. But if it does start in September, we'll be then looking to try and get the next course started around about June, July time next year. But hopefully, with regards to our CPD programme, we can fill in the gaps. So just further information. If you've got any questions relating to the programme, now you would have received an email from Rich just to say that at the moment he is on furlough. As I mentioned, he's put a lot of time and effort into the programme, and he's absolutely, well, he's really disappointed that he couldn't actually lead tonight. But any questions up to now, If you email them to myself, I'll keep them out and then forward them on to Rich. Any questions relating to coach education, please forward them on to myself, and then we'll be back in touch. Now, tonight's webinar, it has been recorded, and we'll look to put that on with regards to the our website. What we're looking to do is over the next couple of days, we just want to release one of the strands. So if it's with regards to we said about the technical and tactical, we'll release the strand, and there'll be more information relating to the strand. A few days later, if it's the female CPD, again, we'll release it with more information, because there's a lot of information that's been given to you tonight, and I apologise with regards to it seems that I've just been talking to yourselves or talking at a screen, but we just didn't want to get in too much with regards to detail about the chat. We just really wanted to get information out. The next webinars and the CPD events that we do, there will be a chat function, so this way more people will be engaged. That's the end of the launch. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it just gets the get your thing with regards to what we're looking to do in the future. As I said, I don't think we've missed out on any CPD opportunities. I've said before, it is for everybody. We want people to come because they want to. We're still looking to be put on events with regards to for the A licensed coaches as well. But from 1, 2, 3, 4, the big thing is this is for you. It's for you to become the best coach that you can with no pressure. If you need to, that you've got to move on as quickly as you can, them days are gone. It's not a case that you just go from one course to the other as quickly as you can and just try to catch as many of the certificates. We want you to be at the level, you progress when you want to be and when you want to move on. The CPD events will help you do that. And then if it takes a little bit longer, so be it, but you'll be more comfortable with regard to what's being delivered on your next part of the coaching journey. And is there anything that's came through? Have you anything you want to add?
Yeah, it's just the promotion Dave mentioned earlier with regards to getting the word out there to young coaches, but even go back to your club with the existing coaches and try and get as many people involved in this as you can, because we're trying to create a strong network and get as much knowledge, especially up-to-date knowledge out there as possible. Just trying to give the kids the best possible opportunity to be as good a player as they can be. So the more we can get on this, the more we can get the information out there, the better, because this is something that we have wanted for a long time, especially to fill in the gaps in between courses, because everyone involved in this is tutors, and we recognize the gaps that maybe can't fill on the course itself, because we do have limited contact time. So this is going to be ideal for current candidates, but also previous candidates and new candidates coming forward. So please just get the word out there, use the social media, use our Twitter, our Facebook, however you want to do that, and just try and get the word out there and help us as best we can, because we do want this to be successful, but also get your feedback, because ultimately we want to see what you guys want from this as well.
Cheers, Andy. I think with that as well, we will be looking at some of the replies that you sent in about what you want to see. We're keen that it's not just coming from the county FA, this is what we're going to do. If there's a specific need for a certain event, get in touch with us and we will look to put those on. So that concludes tonight's launch. As I say, anything that you need, please be in touch and stay safe. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.